It's not what you think. It's not what you think. I'm a 70-year-old American. And for most of my life, I've lived under this cloud of Islamophobia. I admit it. I bought everything that my government told me about Muslims, about Islam. And then at 68 years of age, I'm led to the Quran. And I want to share with you something. Islam is the Quran. Read the Quran. If you read the Quran, not the other books, and don't indulge in conversations about Islam, just read the book. I can tell you, and I've said this a number of times, in all honesty, I held on to the teachings of Jesus for most of my life, and I still have them virtually written in my heart and in my mind and in my soul. I know the teachings of Jesus. The curious thing is the teachings of Jesus and the Quran don't seem to be at odds with one another. And I know you're going to say, well, what about war and this and that? But the only proof of what I'm saying can be found in reading the Quran in a language you can understand. It's not a big book. It isn't. Read the Quran. Now, this was the motivation for this. I had a comment in one of my videos where I'm reading the Quran, and I post it, me reading the Quran, not interpreting it, reading the Quran. And I got a response from this fellow, I think it's a fellow, and I could tell in the response that he was very excited. He says, I can't believe this, that he found me reading it. And he goes on, I think it's a he goes on to say, I've just begun reading, but I'm only in chapter 2. And I encouraged him, and then this was last night, and then I put down my phone, and I laid down, and something told me to reach out to him again. So I got up, and what I said to him is what I would say to you. In reading the Quran, you will find that chapter 2, for example, is the largest chapter and may present itself as a bit of a challenge to get through. And what I said to this fellow was, if he needs encouragement to go, there are 114 chapters, none of them as vast as chapter 2. So I encourage this fellow, go to the back and read forward. Start at 114 and read forward if you need encouragement. This is to a fellow who says he's already in the midst of reading chapter 2. But that can get a little burdensome. So I wanted to encourage him. And that's what I'm suggesting to you also, with a little caveat to this. And that is, as I mentioned, I followed the teachings of Jesus all of my life. Do you know that when I was led to the Quran, and like this fellow, I began in the beginning of the book, and I read the very first chapter, my heart was filled with joy because the very first chapter of the Quran, it's short, it's only 7 verses, it's very short, but the very first chapter, as I read it, I could see what Christians call the Lord's Prayer. It was right there. When Jesus' disciples asked him, they said, Lord, can you teach us to pray? And he goes on, this is in Matthew, I believe. He goes on and he says, don't be like the hypocrites and repetition and that, and do it. Go into your private place and ask God in secret. And what you ask God in secret, God will reward you openly, and pray in this manner. And then he gives what we Christians at the time, what we had been taught is the Lord's Prayer. The beautiful thing is that the sentiments of what Jesus says and how to pray to the Lord God Almighty is virtually the same sentiments. The words are a little different, but I'm telling you, if you know the prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed, you know that. If you read the first chapter of the Quran, you can't help but see that it is the same. So I want to get us out of the America first. And I want to suggest unity for all. And one of the biggest obstacles, as I see it, is the attitude that America has towards Islam. And it's based on the actions of these people who call themselves Muslims. And I guess they are Muslims. But the true Islam is found in the Quran. Do you know that the Quran says that Jews and Christians who believe in God, believe in Judgment Day, and do good shall have their reward with their Lord, and they shall not fear nor grieve? Tell me, does that sound like anything you've been raised with about what Islam is? Please try reading the book. I think it'll help you get over this Islamophobic, or get through this Islamophobic cloud that America has been under for my whole life. I'm 70. I wish you well. Peace.